I want to do something with the viewers of this video. A test, to put it simply. I'm going to put on screen 3 individuals and I want you to answer this question for yourself. Who do you feel is the most approachable and the most likable? Person A, Person B, or Person C? Alrighty, now who would you most like to receive a gift from? Person A, Person B, or Person C? I assume many of you chose mostly A or C, but if you chose B, then I'm gonna keep my eye on you. You're a little suspicious, but the test I just conducted within this YouTube video is a similar test conducted on 21 different people to see how people react to these images. For many of you, I'm sure person B seemed a little quirky, but you can't particularly explain why. It's an image that produces a sense of anxiety throughout your body, and I don't blame you. I have that anxiety as well whenever I look at myself in the mirror, but that emotion of distress and anxiety is caused by a theory known as the Uncanny Valley, the subject of this video. So, what is the Uncanny Valley? While there's multiple different definitions and theories, the way I always described it was a sense of distress, discomfort, anxiety, or any sort of negative emotion caused by a visual or audio stimulus to which our brain sense that it looks, sounds like a human, but subconsciously knows there's something off about said image or audio. The concept was first introduced by Masahiro Mori in 1970 from his book called
不気味の谷
phrasing the theory as
不気味の他に現象
translating to mean the Uncanny Valley phenomenon. Through his time working with robots, he discovered this strange condition and began exploring it. He is the producer of the infamous graph known for describing the Uncanny Valley that I didn't fully understand until about 20 minutes ago. The 2 lines are meant to show the depths of the Uncanny Valley in stationary and or moving people. And the Uncanny Valley is all the way up here, right next to a healthy person. However, despite this theory being rather obviously true, Japan kind of brushed it aside as someone yapping about robots, and later on, Americans did the same. For whatever reason, it was mostly a scientific thought thrown to the back of everyone's mind. But that all changed during a turning point in the movie industry, of all places. This turning point being the implementation of 3D animation. In 1988, Pixar created a groundbreaking animated short film called Tin Toy, but during screenings there was a certain character that garnered negative reactions from the audience, particularly the baby character Billy. I'm going to be honest, if my baby looked like this, I would immediately seek a trusted adult to help me solve this issue. But this was when people began giving some credit to the Uncanny Valley. Later in 2004, an infamous movie by the name of Polar Express released, causing many critics to share a particular disdain and discomfort from the animated characters. Those human characters in the film come across as downright, creepy. So, the Polar Express is at best disconcerting and at worst a wee bit horrifying, was what CNN reviewer Paul Clinton wrote when reviewing the movie. And how could I blame him? After looking at the characters, I also felt an uncanniness from them. Although it was quite subtle, there are also many more examples I found on Wikipedia, but most aren't necessarily what I would consider eerie like other examples of the Uncanny Valley. But a question I have yet to answer is why the Uncanny Valley causes these feelings to form within us. And the honest answer is that I don't know. In fact, no one really knows. There are a handful of theories, but the one I like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for is that our brain recognizes these pictures, sounds, people aren't humans, and recognizes these things as harmful and dangerous. Your brain also recognizes that this is a pretty nice up-and-coming YouTube channel, so you should subscribe to see my future content. Thank you, you're the best. To continue with my explanation, though, I want you to look at this. And this. And this. Now, what is something similar about all three that's not the fact that they're kinda eerie? It's the predominant features on their faces. The first one has a very large nose and large lips, the second one has large slanted eyes, and the third one has bright yellow eyes with a wider mouth. The reason they do this is so people can more easily recognize the unidentified person based on the witness testimony and create a visual for the public to search for. But the reason we get so uncomfortable by their uncanniness is because of these predominant features. And something that only pertains to the second one, but that our brain recognizes, is the skin being made of wax. Our brain knows this isn't a real person and therefore tries to warn our body of possible harm. Now that we know all this though, I want to talk about the reason I made this video. That reason being how these strange, nightmarish pictures and audio have made their way into the horror genre. For instance, some say the mask Michael Myers wears is uncanny alongside the Annabelle doll's design. A more personal example is from the Japanese film Ring and its sequel Ring 2. At the end of the first Ring film, we see Sadako climb out of the well and stumble towards the screen. The part that makes this particularly scary to me is that she stumbles towards the screen, her body swaying gently as if she doesn't quite know how to move her body. This continues as she climbs out of the television screen, her body slumping over the edge and hitting the ground before she begins to crawl out from it like a caterpillar. The scene overall terrified me because of her strange, uncanny movements, but whatever terror I felt in the first Ring movie were chills down my spine compared to the fear I felt watching the second one. During the climax of the movie, Mai and Yoichi are climbing out from the well when suddenly, a clay recreation of Sadako's body becomes possessed by her spirit, climbing up the well in an uncanny, rather terrifying way. And just ew, I hate it so much. Why does she have to move her body like a weird frog when she's climbing? All of her limbs look so stiff and dirty and it just freaks me out. Another thing that isn't in the script but pertains to this is in the Japanese film Ju-on, otherwise known as The Grudge, the main girl that goes around and takes people and makes them disappear, she never stands upright. Well, okay, she does stand upright sometimes, but whenever she walks, she crawls around, her limbs kind of snapping and breaking and such, alongside the weird, the only way I can really describe the sound she makes is that it sounds like a creaky floorboard, and it's really odd and kind of unsettling, but the way she moves and the way she acts and sounds and such is really uncanny to me, and the movie itself is pretty scary, but that character specifically is just really eerie and off-putting. But outside of visuals though, I want you to listen to this.
There's more people.
Hey, can you help me with this?
Who's there?
Help me with this?
Sure, I can't see you. Where are you?
Help me with this? Help me with this?
The reason most people find this clip from the analog horror series Winter of '83 eerie is because the voice and tone never change. It's the same every time the creature in the snow asks the question, giving it an eerie quality. But, in summary, the Uncanny Valley is a theory that has truly cemented itself in not just horror, but in any medium of storytelling, it seems like. Even the idea of mimics or doppelgangers having an innate uncanny feel to them that makes us uncomfortable. Now, I'd like to talk about my experience with the Uncanny Valley and how it has affected my life more than my pre-calculus class. So, for as long as I can remember, dolls and mannequins have kind of made me uncomfortable. I never got why they did, but a lot of my fears growing up weren't from seeing monsters, but from seeing people. I'd be terrified of somebody looking through my windows or following me around, paranoia basically. But mannequins and dolls really cemented this fear and has stuck with me throughout my entire life. The scariest episode of one of my favorite television series, The Twilight Zone, was the one where a woman by the name of Marcia White is looking for a gift for her mother. After deciding on a thimble, she goes to the elevator, but there's a line. Before an elevator operator suggests going to the 9th floor. Upon entering the 9th floor, it's very liminal in its emptiness, and amongst the emptiness is a strange saleswoman, one who just so happens to have a gold thimble. Marcia buys said thimble and leaves, complaining later about the scratches on it to the manager. The manager explains that they don't have a 9th floor, and Marcia realizes the saleswoman was a mannequin. Waking up from fainting, she finds herself locked in the store after hours and finds her way up to the 9th floor, where she finds a storage unit of mannequins. The scene of the mannequins looking at her and speaking to her terrifies me, even after rewatching it for this essay.
Marcia, you remember Marcia?
Climb off it. Come on, dear. Marcia.
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 The horror begins when the mannequins explain what's going on to her. Marcia is a mannequin. Every month, one mannequin leaves to live with the outside world before returning, allowing another mannequin to live in the outside world. Marcia simply forgot that she was a mannequin, and now it's someone else's turn. The next scene, you see Marcia standing amongst the customers of the store, but as a mannequin instead of a person. This concept, as a middle school kid, terrified me. This concept, as a 19, almost 20-year-old adult, still terrifies me. It's just the uncanniness of the mannequin speaking and interacting with people that truly terrifies me. This, as you could expect, added to my fear of the Uncanny Valley, but at the time I still didn't realize that's what it was. Then, within my years of high school, I discovered the art of liminal spaces, specifically from the original Backrooms picture that everyone knows and recognizes. And from liminal spaces, I learned of the Uncanny Valley and realized that was the name of this fear I had. Ever since then, I've been mildly obsessed with the concept. Anything about uncanny behavior or appearances fascinates and terrifies me. Like my love for plague doctors, hints from my profile picture, my interest in the Uncanny Valley and that surrounding it cannot be overstated. It's something that may forever fascinate me and will be a consistent topic in my videos, but that fascination is what made me so motivated to make this video. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in terms of the topic of the Uncanny Valley. And honestly, I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at making these videos. Like, I still need to work on voice recording and stuff, and I could probably touch up my scripts a little to make them, like, maybe more entertaining or something. But overall, I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere with my understanding of this stuff. Thank you all for the support on my other videos. It means a lot to me. And honestly, I'm really excited to make more videos. And so yeah, I'm just rambling now, or yapping as people in my generation would say. But so I hope you all have a great day. As said before, please like, subscribe if you found it entertaining, and I will see you all in the next video. So yeah, bye.